The race for the 1st Congressional District of South Carolina on the Republican side continues to grow. Today, I talk one-on-one with one of those candidates, Dorchester County Councilman Jay Byars, for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook.
Jay Byars, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Glad to be back. Thanks, Quintin, for having me.
Oh, I appreciate it greatly. Needless to say, you're a current Dorchester County Council member, a Dorchester County resident, and of course, you're now a Republican candidate for the 1st Congressional District of South Carolina. And of course, when I interviewed you back in April, you basically said, hey, I'm considering running for Congress. And you basically said because this country is at a crucial inflection point and that the district needs a leader with strong conservative values. So what got you from considering running for Congress to now saying, hey, I am a county candidate for Congress?
That's a great question. I'll tell you, Quintin, I battled this decision for a while. I love the job I'm doing now. I love being on county council. I've got a great council I serve with, great staff. We've done some amazing things together with our community, building parks and libraries and getting roads done. And it's really been a lot of fun. But I look at one of my biggest frustrations being on Dorchester County Council is just the lack of leadership at the federal level. A lot of drama, a lot of personal politics, all over the place. And this district desperately needs leadership that pays attention to what we need here at home. And that's something I feel like after 15 years on Dorchester County Council, I've got a very proven record of being able to do things and work with people and build a team to get things done that I think is a strong candidate or just a candidacy to be able to actually try to make a difference for this community.
We all have seen as many people say, the personal drama that's been played out on social media and television, and I don't want to delve into that right here. But
right,
how exactly is that personal drama affecting the issues in District 1 right now?
I think in order to get anything done, you need to be able to pick up the phone or walk across the hallway and speak and talk to people and build a team and build a coalition. And I think that's something that if you look back at my record on county council versus other places, we've been able to get things done with our referendums that we've gotten passed, that the voters approved, that they asked for. We passed those with 2-1. And that's because we listen. I mean, I'm very in touch with my constituents. We listen to what they're looking for, and then we get out and we unapologetically lead on those issues. And I think it's really important for a leader to be able to do that, or an elected representative to be able to do that, because at the end of the day, my boss is the people that elected me. And I tell people all the time, like, look, if you don't think I'm doing the right job, you can send me home and I can go spend time with my girls or go play church softball. And I'm okay with that. I'm going to do what I think's right. And I think we just need better leadership at the national level. We're very far behind on our infrastructure locally. And I'm just also pretty concerned with the direction of the country, morally, and just, neighbors not being able to talk to each other or have Thanksgiving dinner without just walking out of the room because they don't like each other's politics. Man, we've got to get back to working together as Americans and talking to folks and getting some things done. And that's really my passion for wanting to run.
Let me just dive into infrastructure. What is the state of infrastructure in the 1st Congressional District?
Oh, man. Well, you live here. So you've seen it. I mean, we're really 40 years behind. I mean, if you look at the last 40 years, when I grew up in South Carolina, in the upstate of South Carolina, traffic truly was being on a country road stuck behind a tractor trying to get to church. I mean, that was traffic. It's very different now. Now we are behind on bridge work. We're behind, just resurfacing roads, getting the infrastructure in place. If you drive across the state line into North Carolina and Georgia, you immediately know you left South Carolina because the roads get immediately better. It does not matter what road you're on. And we've underfunded those roads at the state level, and the federal government's been spending money on things instead of putting money into infrastructure and the things that make communities better. We've just had misplaced spending priorities. And so when you look at South Carolina specifically, when our fuel tax is 28.75 cents a gallon, Georgia is at 33.7 cents a gallon, and North Carolina is at 40.7 cents a gallon. And we've been behind those two states since I was a kid in the 80s. We're not catching up. We're still behind. So funding is an issue. And then we've also just had some explosive growth since COVID. A lot of people have moved here from other states because, we believe in freedom. We believe in, personal accountability, and people wanted to be a part of that. And that's great, but it's put a lot of stress on our roads and a lot of stress on our schools. And that's something that I feel like at the federal level in our congressional representation, I've been living that fight for the last 15 years at the ground level. I believe I can go up there and help and bring some things back home, but also just make sure that we're spending things appropriately and responsibly at the federal level. We cannot afford $38 trillion in debt. Our kids can't afford it. So there's things the federal government needs to stop spending money on, but we need to put money into infrastructure that makes our quality of life better.
Well, let me ask you this, Jay. That fuel tax, how much has that been funded for the first congressional district?
We are the lead. That is, and thank you for asking that question. And I don't have the exact dollar amount for you, Quintin, but I will tell you we are the least funded district in the state as far as DOT. So the South Carolina Department of Transportation, we are in District 6, and District 6 is the most poorly funded district in the entire state. And our roads are so far behind. I mean, we've got the port of Charleston, and we really are the economic driver for the rest of the state. And I'm from the upstate. I'm from Spartanburg County, and I know how important that community is. But we need better funding here. It costs more to build our roads here because our soil's terrible. We've got a lot of water we have to build bridges over, whether it's a marsh or the Cooper or the Ashley River. It's expensive to build infrastructure here. So we don't need to be the lowest funded in the state. We should be the highest funded in the state. Now, that's a state issue, but it is certainly something that our state representatives are aware of that as well.
Where exactly is this money for the for the first congressional district? Where is that money?
From the DOT side, a lot of the money on the fuel tax now is being spent on rural infrastructure. Because there's a lot of bridges that are over 40 or 50 years old that are a safety issue. And then interstate improvements. If you go up Interstate 26, you see work being done. Interstate 85 has a lot of work being done around Gaffney. And those are also federal projects. We need to be able to go to DC and bring money home for those federal projects. So when you look at what we need here specifically, there's a ton of road work that's going to need to be done here in the Low Country. 526, building a new bridge across the Cooper River and getting it higher so that the port can actually get bigger ships in, and widening those lanes. I mean, those are going to be huge monetary asks. We've got to be able to get federal help with that. You look at other roads throughout the Low Country. Beaufort, exit 3 interchange is a mess down there at Hardyville. They need some help. You've got the 278 bridge going into Hilton Head that needs some help. We're looking at things up around Somerville, Berkeley County, and Dorchester County, where we are trying to tie Berlin G. Myers to Interstate 26, which would greatly reduce congestion in that area. And that's going to be some federal project as well that we're going to need help to be able to get that done. And in order to get that done, you got to have someone who actually pays attention, not only to your backyard, but to the region. And since I've been on county council, I've thought about things regionally, not just what's best for my district. And I'm going to continue to do that.
What current public-private partnerships would be in favor as far as, for instance, the Berlin G. Myers extension and other projects?
As far as public-private on that project, I don't know about public-private, but you are talking about a multi-jurisdictional project. Right. So if we were to tie the Berlin G. Myers into Interstate 26, which is something that we're discussing, most of that road, in fact, all of it would be in Berkeley County, but it would greatly enhance the quality of life for Dorchester County residents. Supervisor Cribb is fully on board with that. I talked with Mayor Touchberry. So there's a lot of good people that are on board making that happen. There would be a lot of different partners to make that an opportunity that would really relieve congestion in the Somerville and Berkeley County area. I don't know that, the private side would be more, our contractors getting on board and being on board with that, which we've got great contractors around here, people like Banks Construction that do a great job for us. And we just got a lot of work to do. You're not going to fix being 40 years behind in 4 years. It's going to take some time.
You talk about taking time. So what can you do right now as far as widening some of these lanes?
Great question. Dorchester County and Berkeley County both passed a transportation sales tax, and Dorchester County passed a transportation sales tax. Berkeley County passed a capital sales tax. And what those are doing is those are allowing funding at the local level to be able to build the roads that we need to get matching funding. So Dorchester County, we passed ours, and we already had one, so it was not a tax increase. We passed a penny originally to build roads in 2004, and then we passed an updated penny to replace that penny in 2022, because the 2004 penny was really, we were out of money to be able to build projects, and we needed to go ahead and start new projects. Berkeley County did the same thing in 2024. They won their referendum over there 3-1. We won ours 2-1. It's just getting out and talking to people. Charleston County lost theirs last year. Hopefully it'll pass this coming year because it's important for the region for that to happen. And people just have to be able to trust their government and know that we're going to do those things. It takes local funding as well as state funding, as well as federal funding. And, Berkeley and Dorchester County, we've got our funding in place to be able to get matching funds from the feds, which is something that as a congressman, I'm going to be very, very interested in trying to help bring that money home, as well as Colleton County helping those guys down there. They've got a capital penny as well. Beaufort County's working on one. So we've got roads to build. It's just going to take multiple partners to get it done.
How many roads are we talking here in your particular district?
Oh man. I mean, just the big lifts. I mean, if you're not even talking, I mean, locally, you there's things that the counties are going to work on, but when you're thinking from a federal level, I mean, anything to do with 26, 526, US 78, there's just a ton of road opportunities down in Beaufort County. If you look at the 95 interchange on exit 3 or exit 8, US 278, there's a lot of things infrastructure wise that needs to be done, but not only infrastructure, Quintin. One of the things that I've been focused on county council, and I'm going to take that same mindset up to DC, is conservation. We want to be able to protect what makes this place special. And be able to, make sure that we're helping with funding for beach renourishment at Edisto Beach or at Folly Beach, and make sure that we're able to get those things done as well, and work through the Corps of Engineers. Permitting tends to take a long time, and that tends to cost us not only time, but extra millions of dollars for projects. And that's one of the things, not only to just get money for funding, but to help with getting permitting streamlined when we need to get things done, whether it's a business or whether it's us just trying to get things done for conservation or infrastructure. We need someone that's actually paying attention to that. There's a road in Somerville we talk about all the time, Berlin G. Myers Parkway. It took 20 years to get permitted. It should not take that long. And Senator Graham finally helped push that over the finish line, which we appreciate that. But we need someone who's actually got their eye on the ball the whole time. And when our local governments need help and when our local citizens need help, we step up and help.
And I know you have to run, but let me ask you this. Okay. And I just talked to Philip Pounds, Mayor of Alva Palms, about these beach renourishment projects a couple of days ago on Quintin's Close-Ups. But what is that 10-year mitigation plan for beach renourishment on these islands and beaches?
As far as what?
As far as getting them, up to par to where they need to be right now.
Well, and the mayor can speak to that a lot more directly than I can. One of the things that I've talked to some of the mayors about is just trying to get through the Corps of Engineers. It takes a while to get through the Corps of Engineers, and those beaches are eroding pretty quick, especially after some of the storms we've had. And so we need to speed that process up. I mean, if we need to get that sand up and get that beach renourished, we don't need to be waiting years for the Corps of Engineers to go through a bureaucratic process that allows more erosion to happen over time because we're not doing things quickly enough. And the mayors are certainly dialed into that. And that's the type of thing when, pick up phones like, if Jay Byars is in Congress, we need help because we need to get this done. We just had a major tropical storm or a hurricane brush by, and it just completely wiped out sand over wild dunes. We need to be able to get that done and get that done in a quick. It's going to take teamwork to be able to, because the Isle of Palms doesn't have the money to make that happen. That's a federal project. We got to be able to do that. And even if you don't live on the Isle of Palms, we all like to go to the beach. And so it's important for all of us to be able to get those things done as a region.
Oh, absolutely. I would like to continue this conversation in the next year if I can, because I know you're busy right now.
Sure.
But Dorchester County Councilman and, of course, Republican candidate for 1st Congressional District, Jay Byars, thank you for your time. And again, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
I love being here, man. Thanks for having me, Quintin. I appreciate everything you do.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime.
Happy Thanksgiving, buddy.
Likewise.
All right, take care.
Yes, sir.